Joe Zuma, the single greatest threat to the Pacific region and the world is climate change. Therefore, the preservation of West Papua's environment is vital to maintaining essential ecological services that stabilize and regulate global climate systems, safeguard biodiversity, and ensure the survival of humanity. These words are not just wordy. They are a call to action, a call that Pacific youth and leaders have sounded for decades as we stand on the front lines of a crisis we did not create. Today, as we rally behind the historical campaign for an International Court of Justice advisory opinion on climate justice, we must recognize that the fate of West Papua is not just a political struggle. It's an environmental imperative, a climate battleground, and the test of our collective humanity. The theft of land, the theft of our future. West Papua's story is one of betrayal. Betrayed by colonial powers, betrayed by Cold War geopolitics, and betrayed by a world that turned away as its forests were pillaged, its rivers poisoned, and its people silenced. And unfortunately, it didn't end in 1961. What goes on until today? When the Morning Star flag was raised in 1961, West Papuans, the first Melanesian nations, dared to dream of freedom. But behind closed doors, powerful nations, fearful of communism and hungry for resources, orchestrated their surrender to Indonesia. A declassified US telegram dismissed West Papuans as Stone Age, illiterate tribal groups, unworthy of self-determination. Today, that same way of thinking and acting echoes in the destruction of our land, West Papua, world's largest tropical island, the world's biggest gold mine, the Trans-Papua Highway, the palm oil plantations. Each mega project is a scar on Earth, which you can see from space, resulting in displacing indigenous communities, erasing unique biodiversity, and fueling the climate crisis. Indonesia, the world's third largest emitter of greenhouse gases, treat West Papua as sacrifice zone. But we must be clear, there are no disposable peoples and no disposable ecosystems. For Pacific nations, small island states, and vulnerable coastal communities, climate change is not abstract. Rising seas swallow our lands, cyclones obliterate our homes, and yet, while we fight for survival, West Papua's forests, the third largest rainforest on Earth, are being clear-cut for profit. These forests are our shared lifelines. They are our carbon sinks, weather regulators, and the guardians of irreplaceable biodiversity. The Pacific knows the cost of inaction. That's why we demand an ICJ advisory opinion to hold polluters, investors, and politicians accountable. But justice cannot stop at borders. If we ignore West Papua's plight, we ignore the deforestation that accelerates our drowning. Indonesia, the world's largest producer of nickel, a top exporter of palm oil, and one of the top 3 greenhouse gas emitters, has no moral right to sit at any table and talk about climate solutions. Meanwhile, West Papua, with its 60,000 plus years of indigenous wisdom in stewarding the world's largest tropical island, New Guinea, and the third largest rainforest, must be recognized by every nation or NGO that claims to fight for climate justice. A green state vision, a path to liberation. West Papuan leaders are not just resisting destruction, they are shaping a world after liberation. The green state vision is a living blueprint of a future where nature has rights, ecocide is punished, forests and reefs are protected as sacred trust. Power is decentralized. Indigenous custodians, not corporations and their foreign governments, govern the land. The economy serves life, not extraction. Only justice, balance and reciprocity. This living blueprint is a testimony to West Papuans and many other indigenous communities in the Pacific and around the world are offering us. The world's silence on West Papua is complicity. When journalists are buried, when activists are jailed, when military violence is buried, we must become their megaphone. So thank you, PAS-FCC, World Youth for Climate Justice, and other friends around the globe for standing next to West Papua, giving us a voice, but also for inspiring the world, other movements, and especially big NGOs, where your journey towards this historical ICJ advisory opinion is an uphill battle against our odds. As we have seen in the documentary Yumi, which means you and me, and which is a Vanuatu word in Bislama. West Papua salutes all of you. Keep inspiring us for justice. To global allies, support this kind of movements and youth leaders. Pressure your governments. Divest the corporations destroying West Papua's lungs and learn why they support West Papua. To Indonesia and the occupation, the human rights violations and the ecocide. Because West Papua will never accept you to colonize us and exploit our culture, our land, our country. So we mobilize our people, the Pacific region and the rest of the world. And soon West Papua will celebrate a victory as we are witnessing today because of the courage of young people in the Pacific and around the world, showing us that we are not powerless. The ICJ advisory opinion campaigns have shown us how to rewrite history. Let us demand climate justice today and justice for West Papua tomorrow and onwards. Because West Papua's liberation is tied to the survival of us all. Thank you, PAS-FCC, Pacific leaders and all comrades who give us a voice today. Papua Merdeka. Thank you.